Hey, what's up guys, it's Talon. So today I want to review a game that really shows good macro understanding and how to carry a game even when you don't have an insane amount of kills, and just how to really make good decisions and understand the game quite well. So already starting off here, I am going for a ward early because I know that Vi is the enemy jungle and Sett is the enemy top laner. This means that they have extremely good gank setup and my champion's very squishy, very susceptible to ganks. And so I need to play this one of two ways. I either need to crash this wave and then recall, or I need to have a very large health lead so that I can then use my lead to win the game. Now, my teammate makes an immensely dumb play here and decides to invade despite knowing that the Vi is going to go there and having vision of this. And so, again, another good part about this game is that my teammates make a lot of extremely dumb decisions, and I'm going to kind of showcase how to play despite these dumb decisions. And so the first thing is, since I do know that Vi is here, I'm making sure that I maintain a health lead and keep my flash up so that I am not really in a gankable position. Once she gets level 5, I have to play even safer, but at the moment, I am safe in a position like this, and then you can see that I'm looking to recall. Since he has more minions than me, that means that the wave is going to push into me, and he therefore cannot freeze on me, giving me a good timer to back on, and additionally, I'm backing on a timer where the enemy jungle would otherwise look to gank me. So again, because I have this health lead, Sett's not necessarily in a position to want to dive me or play super aggressive, unless his jungler comes. So I'm making sure that I, again, am at a really strong point by taking a good recall on items and not over-aggressing or trying to over-push my lead, because again, I know that Vi will gank me here if I over-aggress, and they have amazing gank setup. So for these reasons, I'm making sure to not play too aggressive, and you're going to see kind of throughout the lane, I continue to do the same thing. Now that Vi, I know, will be on the other side of the map, I can start being aggressive and pushing the lane. Why do I know Vi is going to be on the other side of the map? Because she was just on her blue side for a long time, and most of the time after they cleared the blue side, and then I saw her obviously die on the map, she's going to go to her red side. So now I'm starting to look for more aggressive trades here. You're going to see how I'm really poking out this Sett and really trying to get a big lead here now, because this is my best timer. Now, I'm not going to over-aggress once again. After not hitting that poke, I'm going to decide, okay, I'm going to take a recall and go for a further advantage in terms of itemization. I'm going to recall for a serrated Dirk, which is a great power spec for me. And now you can see he's on a long sword and boots, whereas I'm on a serrated Dirk and boots. So I have a clear advantage in this lane in terms of both gold and itemization, which once again allows me to make good trades, but I'm not going to over-aggress because I know Vi will soon come back once again. So unless I can see a good trade angle like here, I'm not going to over-push. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to grab the Scorpion so that I can crash the wave under the tower, and then I'll be in a safer position so that he cannot just kill me straight up. And that the only way he'll be able to kill me is if they waste literally everything, a Sett ult, a Vi ultimate, flashes, all of that stuff. Otherwise, they're never going to be able to kill me because I'm keeping a health lead, I'm keeping an item lead, and I'm making sure that I track the enemy jungle. So again, I know the enemy jungle is probably going to be here, and so my only real option here is to either poke out the Sett and try to get priority, and if Vi then comes and ganks me, my team can trade on the other side of the map while they waste all the resources, or I can play really safe. Now, because I have an advantage and I want to keep the lane pushed, I am going to decide to trade a bit aggressively. Now, you could argue this is a mistake here and that I should not have gone forward here because I do get flashed on, Sett ulted, Vi ulted. But you can see how even in the worst case scenario where all of this happens to me, I'm wasting a lot of their resources right before an important objective. So my team is then easily able to get the dragon. So you can just see here how even in the worst case scenario, I have this still, I'm even gold even despite, dying. They waste a lot of their resources on me, and my team is in a relatively good position for this point in the game. Okay, guys, so then I'm going to talk about kind of how to play in the later parts of the game after the game hasn't gone as well in the early game. So we talked about kind of how to play in a harder matchup against, a jungler and a top laner or a laner who can gank you really well, and kind of the things that we do there. And now we're going to talk about, again, what to do in games that do feel, really hard to win, and your team's kind of not playing well, and you're behind a lot of gold, such as this one. So the first major thing is using objectives as distractions to trade and get gold. So you're going to see here in that part where I was hitting the turret because I knew that the enemy jungler was on the opposite side of the map. I'm using that as a timer to make sure I can squeeze some turret plates out and still get an advantage when I can. Again, the Vi is on the other side of the map, and so that's going to be a timer. I'm going to now look for a trade here, making sure that whenever the strong people are on the opposite side of the map, you're really making trades. Like, trading is a big concept for coming back in games and for playing a harder games out. And this is really one of the main things in terms of macro that we utilize to win this game. So you're going to see I keep squeezing an advantage as much as I can here because I know Vi is not in a position to kill me. And I know that I have the item advantage with the current Serpent's Fang that I just bought. So I'm taking advantage not only of my item advantage as we did in the earlier parts of the game, but also the fact that I know the enemy jungle location to continue to squeeze a lead out of this. Now I'm going to build up a big wave, and this is another important macro and wave management understanding of when to look for all-in angles. All-in angles are a lot more effective to look for when you have a big wave built up, because then even if you do die, you're not going to get punished as hard, because all that you'll really lose is just you know, your life. But you can see here, I kill the set and I crash a huge wave on him, and now I have a 1500 gold lead, because even though I do die there, to the enemy it doesn't matter because of the fact that I'm getting a big wave under that tower and continuing to build a bigger advantage. So basically the concept of trading opposite sides when the enemy are making aggressive plays on one side, taking advantage of your item spikes, and building up big waves to then crash when you're looking for all-in angles are all ways to build a lead even in games that don't look so good. And so then again here, guys, you see that their dragon is spawning, and I know we're going to lose a dragon fight. We're down 3,500 gold. My team has been losing the fights throughout. And so instead of just instantly forcing that fight and going straight there, I'm going to first squeeze gold out of the side lane. It's very important, again, to get as much gold as possible and always find these opportunities to trade once again. Using this macro understanding, I'm gaining myself a bigger and bigger gold lead, but then I'm going to rotate late in case I see potential to get a shutdown or to get some extra gold in myself, because I expect, you know, maybe someone's low, they come out of the fight, and then I see a potential for maybe a kill, right? And so my team, they do end up getting some kills, but the fight overall turns bad. And I'm not going to overforce once I see it going like this. Again, I knew we would probably lose the fight. It was expected. I'll get some poke on them, and then I'm going to go right back to the mid lane to continue to squeeze gold out of the game as much as possible. I'm always looking for these opportunities to trade whatever way I can when we're behind, and I'm making sure that I'm utilizing this macro understanding to further my own lead so that I can potentially carry later on in the game. Because my ultimate goal in a game like this is really to get to the later part of the game where the Elder Dragon or the Baron can potentially lead to a throw, because the best way to win a game when you're behind is getting a Miracle Elder or a Miracle Baron in a game that otherwise looks really hard. And so again, there's no objectives currently up, which is why I can make aggressive plays looking for shutdowns such as that one on the Akali there. Once again, I get 900 gold from the shutdown, I get that bot lane turret, I nearly get the mid lane turret, which dies here after, as you'll see, and I get multiple waves of gold, all because I'm utilizing the distraction of the dragon to gain immense advantages where I get this turret bounty, or my team ends up getting this turret bounty, I got the shutdown on Akali, and then my team is also able to push that top lane turret bounty. So you're just seeing how much we can trade and how much we can squeeze out of the game when the enemy get distracted by these fights and other things like that. Okay, so again, we've managed to get the game to a point where we're relatively strong, and even though it didn't go well in the early game, we're not so far behind that we can't win fights. We're just stalling out, trying to wait for an Elder Dragon, and then you can see here, before the Elder Dragon even comes up, the enemy start to over-aggress and start to force to try to do the Baron. So this is a thing that commonly happens. You can just kind of, again, once you get to a point where you feel like you're going to scale up well enough for a potential dragon, like an Elder Dragon fight, you just make sure you play safe, you play to farm, play to trade, and whatever, and the enemy will often force objectives such as this one, and then it leads to them often throwing the game and you being able to get these easy leads. Like, I'm sure we've all had our teammates throw games like this where, you know, for no reason they start a Baron or whatever, and then it leads to a throw, and the enemy are often going to do the same thing. And the way you can force them to often do this is by trading, like we talked about, making sure we get to this point in the game, and then just kind of hovering around the area, making sure we keep vision of the dragons, and then they'll make dumb plays like this, which leads to us now only needing this Elder Dragon to essentially win the game. And so then you're going to see here, we've gotten to a point in the game where we're strong enough. We're now looking to push that wave out to keep the priority so that we have control over the wave. We're going to use this Baron to then get control over the mid wave so that we can have the ability to poke them out, and they're going to be kind of walking into us, which puts us into a really good position to win the fight, which you're going to see is exactly what we do here. We're not going to go through the specific fight because, again, the macro understanding of this game is what's important. And so what did we really learn from this video? We learned that early on in the game, keeping track of enemy jungle, especially when they are, a very gank-heavy champion like Vi, and then trading on timers where they're not in a position to gank us is very important. Making sure that we're crashing a wave, building up a big wave, and using that time for an all-in angle rather than fighting really hard when the enemy has a big wave stacked on us, so that even if we do die, we don't lose as much, and if we kill them, we gain a lot more. And then utilizing trading opposite sides of the map when the enemy are distracted with objectives or other things like that, so that we can at least build a decent little gold lead on ourselves to potentially carry later on in the game. Then as we get into the mid game, say 12 to 15 to 18 minutes right before the Elder Dragon's coming, we're really just focused on making sure we farm up to our last item that we need, whatever item that is, and being as strong as possible for the dragon fight while not overforcing, and hoping that the enemy, since they are in the lead, try to overforce a Baron or something and get impatient and throw, such as they did here. Then if you are in a position where you can, win that fight by taking control of mid or using that lane priority to get the initial positioning on the fight and then win the fight, you're going to be able to obviously easily win that Elder Dragon fight and then utilize that Elder Dragon often to just end the game, such as how we did it here. And then we even bait here on the Baron because the enemy were potentially thinking that we were on the Baron instead of just forcing it and flipping it, such as our enemy did. You saw that we kind of baited them there in that situation. And so these are all of the types of things, the types of macro understanding that we really were able to utilize to win a game that otherwise looked quite unwinnable. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, another kind of video of me sort of just going over a specific game and what I really did to win that game. I know it's a bit kind of all over the place. I only had about an hour to record this video today, so I kind of had to somewhat rush through it. So I hope it was still decently informative for you guys, and I will see you guys in the video tomorrow.